Even if you're watching this video and Andre Iguodala has been traded, the drama is still alive. That's because the Grizzlies' Dillon Brooks said this about Iggy, who hasn't stepped foot in Memphis since being traded there.
First time I seen him was on TV talking about us. No, it's not a distraction at all. I laugh at that type of stuff, you know. A guy that's on our team doesn't want to be on our team. You know, I can't wait till we find a way to trade him so we can play him. And I can just be to show him what really Memphis is about.
Whether you agree with Iggy or not, hell yeah, Dillon Brooks. See, it was recently reported Iguodala would rather sit the whole year than play for the Memphis Grizzlies. Ouch. Ja Morant clapped back too. But should we blame Iguodala? He and the team agreed before the season he could sit out, chill at home, stay ready. Once a contender offers a deal, he could go play ball. But so far, no one has made the Grizz an offer they can't refuse for Iggy. And the Grizzlies are actually good. Maybe a playoff team. The lesson here is things change. When the Grizz made that agreement, they didn't expect to be in this position. Should Andre Iguodala change his mind too? Some say he's a Hall of Famer, a three-time champion. The Grizz players should have more respect. Others disagree. In this video, we'll explore what Iggy should do. We'll look at how much drama this is causing, including Steph Curry getting involved, and compare Iguodala to other veteran players who have been in similar situations. Hey guys, it's Casey Kiernan, host of the AM Hoops YouTube channel. Hit subscribe, coming out with a daily video, quality NBA news, information, entertainment, Monday through Friday at 6 Eastern. Also have a podcast, go check that out wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow me on Twitter at Casey Kiernan and on IG at AM Hoops. So this all started when the Golden State Warriors traded Andre Iguodala to Memphis last summer. They did it to pave the way for that sign and trade of Kevin Durant for D'Angelo Russell. The Warriors needed to unload Iggy's $17+ million salary. Also, his Breakfast Club interview probably didn't help. Remember, he threw his team under the bus. He said that the Warriors both priced out their real fans, and he said that they misreported one of his injuries. All that around the time of the KD injury drama, you get the point. So the Dubs paid Memphis a first-round pick to take Andre Iguodala. And remember, at the time, this was like being sent to basketball Siberia. Memphis, no offense, not exactly a vacation destination if you're a multimillionaire like an NBA player. Plus, they had just sold off the last of their golden era. Marc Gasol in Toronto had just won a title. Mike Conley was off to Utah. Grit and grind was certainly over. There was no telling how good these rookies would be. Ja Morant and Brandon Clark. A rookie head coach too. 35-year-old Taylor Jenkins. Iggy is older than him. So Iguodala didn't want to play the Vince Carter role on Atlanta. He didn't want to be the experienced veteran, leader in the locker room. And here's the thing. The Grizzlies said, okay. The two parties agreed that Iggy would train on his own and wait to get traded. That was the agreement. So if this stalemate continues and Andre Iguodala doesn't play ball at all this year, do we feel bad for him? No, of course not. He's getting paid $17 million and he'll play somewhere next year. For that same reason, I don't feel bad for Memphis or their players. They got paid too, a first-round pick to take on Andre Iguodala. If they didn't like it, they shouldn't have made this agreement before the season, or they shouldn't have made the trade at all. And by the way, this is all getting brought up because of that report where Iggy refuses to play for Memphis no matter what. It's like a slap in the face to this young roster. But really, he's just saying that to increase his chances of getting bought out. But Memphis is standing firm. We will not buy you out of your contract. They want to get something in a trade. A couple of second-round picks, maybe a protected first. Otherwise, teams can pay the player the remainder of his salary or buy him out so he can go play for whoever. Teams buy out players for two reasons. One, it's to open up a roster spot so that someone else can come and play on their team. Or two, it's to save money if the player agrees, okay, I'll take a discount on my buyout so I can go play. Neither seems to be happening in this situation. And the issue with Iggy, he's owed $17 million. That is a lot for a team to trade for. So I'm gonna hop on this trade machine from TradeNBA.com And I don't normally show trades like this, but I'm doing this because we can see the salaries here next to the player. And I'll show you how difficult it is to trade for Andre Iguodala. So in the NBA, you need to get close to matching salaries. And you can see that Iggy, the highest paid player, gets $17.1 million. We're only going to look at expiring deals or maybe 2 years because Memphis doesn't want to be on the hook for some veteran for 3+ years. So with the Lakers, how do you get to $17 million? Well, let's start with DeMarcus Cousins. He's on an expiring contract. Let's do 2 years of Quinn Cook. Let's do 1 year of Jared Dudley. We're only at $8 million. How do you get to 17? Well, you're not going to trade Danny. Any NT here means no trade clause. So you can't throw in Kentavious Caldwell-Pope or JaVale McGee. You wouldn't want to anyway. So maybe Avery Bradley, do you want to do that? And remember, they want a pick. So let's go to picks here. We'll throw in a second-round pick in 2022, and we'll try to trade. There it is, success. But do you really, if you're a Laker fan, want to give all this up? Probably not. So let's go to the Clippers. How do they get it done? Well, let's look at a pick. Let's throw in their 2020 second-round pick. Let's go to their roster. Mo Harkless, expiring deal, even though he's a part of their rotation. Let's click Mo Harkless. And then who else do you want to give up? You're at 11. Let's see, 1 year of Patrick Patterson. Okay, that's fine. For the sake of the argument, let's throw in 3 years of Rodney McGruder. Success, but I don't think the Grizz would want to take on 3 years of McGruder. Lakers and Clippers, very difficult. Let's go to the Mavericks. This one makes a lot of sense. You can see how easy this is. All they have to do is attach Courtney Lee's expiring and throw in Golden State's second-round pick, which is a very good pick, try the trade, success. I see the Mavericks as a legitimate possibility, but we heard Adrian Wojnarowski report that the Heat are in trade discussions. Another easy one. Goran Dragic, $19 million for 1 year expiring. This works, even though I know a lot of you don't want to give up Dragic. And then we give up their 2022 second-round pick from either Philly or Denver. Let's assume that they even want that pick. It's down the road, it's a second-round pick. That's tough for them to even take. That's barely anything. The trade goes through. So you can see how difficult a trade is to make, but not impossible. What is impossible, apparently, is Iguodala playing for the Grizzlies at all this year. At first, you got why he wouldn't want to, but now it kind of looks ridiculous. The Grizzlies have been one of the best stories this year. Ja Morant jumped out to basically win Rookie of the Year halfway through. Brandon Clark looks like the steal of the draft. Jaren Jackson Jr. continues to improve. Simply put, the Grizz are a top 3 fun team to watch, and if we're lucky, they'll get a playoff spot. And maybe because of all that winning and all the excitement, the young Grizz are feeling themselves. After Dillon Brooks said what he said in the locker room, check out what Ja Morant did. He quote tweeted those comments with a shout emoji, and then he liked a tweet that said, "F*** Iguodala." When Stephen Curry came out and backed his old teammate, Ja responded with a picture of Kevin Durant, basically saying, hey, without this guy, your 3-time champ ain't much. That is serious shade. From a rookie to a 2-time MVP in Stephen Curry and a finals MVP in Iguodala. But it seems like a lot of people are on Ja Morant's side, however disrespectful that might be. I mean, people look at Iguodala, the highest paid player on his team, and they imagine themselves at their job, refusing to work and still getting paid. Nate Jones, who covers the league, shut that talk down. He said, quote, I understand why people get upset about this Iguodala situation, but stop comparing your job and what you can and can't do to your employer and what an NBAer can do. They're not the same. That's true, and it's also true that if this was an inexcused absence, there would be fines involved. But again, both sides agreed to this. And we've seen similar situations in the past. In 2004, Alonzo Mourning was traded to the Raptors. Kinda. He never played for the Raptors because he refused to go. He didn't take a physical. He didn't step foot in Canada. Some consider it the worst trade ever because of how it affected Toronto. They gave the Nets prime Vince Carter for Alonzo Mourning, Aaron and Eric Williams, and 2 first-round picks that turned into nobody special. Mourning refused to play for Toronto, and eventually they agreed to buy him out, and he rejoined the Miami Heat. Or you could compare Iggy's situation to Chris Paul. CP3 was also traded to what we thought was a trash team in a small market. Instead of watching his team break expectations, CP3 is a big part of why the Thunder have been so much fun this year. Yeah, the situations aren't identical. Paul's got a lot more money and years left, so a buyout isn't realistic, but the situations they were thrown into are. What we see from both examples here is this will not affect Andre Iguodala's legacy overall. Now, he may have a bad reputation in Memphis forever, like how Mourning isn't exactly loved in Canada, but what does he care? We look at Alonzo Mourning as one of the best of his generation, a player who beat kidney disease, and a Heat legend. As for Chris Paul, again, he's going to be loved in OKC forever for this, but outside of that, we're going to remember everything before this. Basically, as long as Iguodala doesn't care about how Memphis views him, this is not going to affect his legacy and he won't lose any sleep. Now, I've got to admit that it is a shame that Iguodala isn't there to mentor this young Grizzlies team. I would like to see that. But even in him not being there, he's teaching them a lesson. Business can be ugly, and at the end of the day, the NBA is a business, like it or not. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.